Back at the old bridge, doing some hiking. That. Wow. Little bitty woodpecker. Wow, it's peaceful out here. This is basically just like there in New Mexico. These cliff dwellings is what they are. They're all over this country. I don't know if that's a place for a fire or where they cooked or where there's a washing place. Boy, that's a big old tree. A lot of writing, but it's kind of, most of this writing looks modern. It doesn't necessarily look modern there. Could be some old script, ancient script. Love these cliffs. I guess all the natives just were cliff dwellers. Just watched a video about the Hopi. They live on top of like plateaus. They don't ever live in the valley. They only live up there so they can see their enemies coming. And they're scared out of their mind. They're very secretive and they hide. They don't like any regular people or just Americans or something or coming in there. They won't, let you in their land. You have to go by appointment and they don't let anybody in there. But this guy got permission to go in and they wouldn't even come out and talk to him. He just stood, he went in from the car basically, could view what up on the mountain where they lived. And he says they worship the spirits from a big mountain, comes from a big mountain near Flagstaff. He said the Navajo come from Alaska. And I was thinking, well, that's probably because they came through Bering Strait. But they were there first, and he said that the Hopi are the first people that ever lived on Earth. The first people. And he was strong in his faith that his tribe was the first. It was very important that you understood that the Hopi Indians were the first people that walked the earth. And I was thinking about what Joseph Smith said, that Adam lived in North America. Before during the time of Atlantis. And Adam was in America, and then after the flood, the boat landed over in Mount Ararat on the other end. And then from that point, they started off in Egypt in summer. And they were all one people there at the Tower of Babel, all the nations. Because everybody had died, so Noah became the father of men. Actually, the father of the deities. A certain group were called, we always talk about Shem's kids, Ham's kids, and Japheth's kids, but Noah had other kids. They were the gods. Melchizedek priesthood. It's kind of dangerous because it's wet, so I don't want to get close to the edge or anything, but I wouldn't want to sleep up here. It might roll off. Little shelves where you put your stuff when you go to sleep, I guess, at night. Huh. Could go up here if you want to do that. Yeah. because I don't know how dry that is or slick. I don't even know these shoes. I'm gonna get on my knees to go through here because not taking any risks out here all alone on this cliff, you know. I don't think it's too slick, but it could be. Yeah, there's not much, there's nothing really to hang on to, so I had to. So cool though. It's worn a niche right into that. Person could dig caves back in this sandstone or whatever with pick. Well, let's take a look down here. Another cave dwelling. I mean, this is just like the Gia cave dwellings or the Mesa Verde or whatever. Up and down these canyons, every one of them's the same thing. They lived here. And nobody even knows about it. No signs or anything. This is a native cliff dwelling or anything. There's some kind of a stove or the water comes in here, so I think they put water in there. It's like a little bathtub or something, because water comes down through here. And it'll fill that up. And it's in this cave, so it'll stay in there, even if it's not flowing for days. You can use water to bathe and wash their dishes and stuff. This looks like some kind of a pit. Goes all the way around in a circle. So this is a fire pit, and then it goes down over here too in some way. This is all dirt covering what this used to be. This isn't just a, look at this. It looks like it's just all natural, but this is man-made here. This is a rock wall here. And this is a seat right here. They would sit in front of this big bonfire, cook their meat, wash their dishes. Some of them maybe slept up there, I don't know. Maybe back in there was a bedroom or storage room. Yeah, sorry, Bobby. And there could be secret caves that are covered or blocked with a stone or something that go back inside. They may have rooms, but we just never did find them. I'm sure they did. I mean, if they were out here and they lived out here their whole life, I'm sure they would find, even if there weren't natural holes or caves, they would chip them out with stone tools. Quite easy to do. Ooh, bunk beds here. Although it doesn't stay all that wet or dry, does it? Oh. Okay. Careful, Dave. I stepped on that stick and it just rolled right in front of me. Yeah, that's why, I guess that's why you have to be careful. I'm never usually careful either. And one day I'm trying to be careful and I slip. But I haven't been walking for like a week or something, and I just feel like, whew. My legs have atrophied in 1 week. No, but yeah, I gotta get into it again. A weird ledge right there. You hang your coat on that, I guess. I was gonna let the dogs come, but there's signs all over the place. Not to let your dogs out unless they're on a leash. And I don't own a leash. I got 3 puppies. You can't really put them on leashes. So I stopped down the road someplace where they can walk and run around and let them run in a little bit. I let them get out and run around a minute. And they're getting big. They're getting smart. They just got to the point now where I can open the door and they'll jump in. And they'll jump out on their own. I don't have to pick them up. They're smart. They're going to be the best dogs you ever saw. I'll tell you what, smarter than human. Yeah. Holy. That could be what that pattern on that big rock was. It looked like a grate. Maybe it's some sort of animal that makes these chambers. Some bugs or something. Ancient type of bug. And it just petrified. Yeah, I'm not supposed to go over there, so looks like it'd be really neat to keep on walking. But, ow. I don't suppose I ought to, if they say not to. Come down here with a shotgun or something. You could climb up there on this. Not me right now. When I get to New Mexico, I'm going to be hiking like a lot, and I'm going to be building a little cabin. I've got some plans. Oh, you guys should see this one guy on YouTube. He builds these huts. I don't know what else to call them. They're like little huts. And they're so neat. It's just, you can build them in a few days. And they look like something out of the Hobbits. And they're very durable and sturdy. Build a fireplace and everything in there. It's just awesome. I'll show you that. Maybe I'll show you a picture on the end of this. So I'm going to build one of those or something like it when I go. Although I have to take a look when I get there. See what the resources are there. If there's a lot of rocks or boards or, I mean, like, you know, sticks or trees or something to use, depending on what I have. If there's a lot of clay, I'm going to use a lot of clay. Oh, look at that big old... So I'll be spending first few weeks just kind of looking around and surveying the whole area, and then I'll start building I guess I'll call it a hut. I'm going to make a mud brick hut or something with grass roof or so, I don't know exactly. He's got several different ways you can do it, and you have to look at the resources that you have on your property to decide if you're going to make more out of logs or rocks. If you got a lot of clay, you can just make a basic structure and put mud and put, you know, like clay and mix it with grass or pine needles or something. And just put it around, and it makes a really neat place. There's different ways you can make the roof. You can put little bricks, flat bricks, or like shingles, or you can use grass or dirt and moss or something. So I've got a cliff on my property. Now I'm calling it that because I had never seen it before. So it may just be a rock, you know, it may not be a cliff much at all. There's some sort of a little bluff or something, but on Google Maps it looks like there might be a few rock outcroppings. It could be a little cliff, I don't think. It could be a cliff like this or something, but oh man, these things are just, whew. They grab a hold of you and they rip your shirt. Okay. So I'm picturing a little spring coming out of the cliff. That's what I'm manifesting. And we'll see what it looks like when I get there. But in order to stay in shape, I got to do this walking every day, man. Take a week off, I get tired. Ever since I started doing videos, and spend hours doing videos, and I'm sitting most of the time. So I don't get enough exercise that way. So when I go to New Mexico, that'll all change. Get back to where I've been and the way I like to live. I'm not going to have anything there. I don't want to bring any modern things onto my property. I'm just going to build my hut out of materials that are available there. I don't think I'll use nails or anything. Just whatever's available on the property. Live like a king. Have a big fireplace to cook on. Got plenty of wood because there's trees on the property. I just hope that they don't start regulating, like they see smoke over on somebody's property 20 miles down the road and they come out there. All right, now, you're not supposed to be burning out here. It's not the right time of year or something. Well, I've got to eat. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe there's a way to muffle some sort of a filter so that your smoke goes through that and they don't notice it or something. Just for cooking, or just use a sterno, I guess. But even then, during the tribulation, I don't think you can get sterno. But you could use some oil. So you have to use some kind of fat. If I ran out of fat that I had stocked up on or purchased, then what would you use? You'd have to, the only kind of fat I know of that would really burn like that is animal fat. There might be some oils you could get out of certain, like maybe you could burn little pine cones or something, you know. But it still would make smoke, you'd think. Probably these little nice tables. That cliff we went to the other day had like benches and tables and everything, just natural. This looks like the gargoyle that guards the temple door here. Like, what is that? He's got kind of a smirk on his face and a little lion's nose. Is that Leo? Guards the temple. The Sphinx. And there is a big crack. Could be a room back in there. It's just a crack right there, but it goes all the way and gets wider and wider all the way up over there. I saw it when I was up on top looking back. Be a great way to hide an entrance if you just had like a trail coming down to here where you had to kind of drop in there and then back in there was a room or something. Be cool. I hear somebody. Or is that a bird? It's a bird. I wonder if that's 1892 or 1992. Cornelius C. Wise. Or Weiss, the Bavarian. Flat Earth guy. $17.70. What is that? 7. I don't know. 17/12. I don't know. Can't figure it out. There's a 4. 17/12. 1912 or something? Yeah, I didn't get to do that other video yet. I don't know if I'll be able to do it today because I'm out here walking the other half of that video on Dan and Japheth Poseidon. But I'll get it, if not today, tomorrow. It's interesting information. I hope all of you can follow it, because if you do listen carefully and follow it, it's a wealth of information. Synchronizing all of these things. I don't think it's ever been synchronized to the point that we have done. Others have tried, and I don't think they got it right. I don't think anybody's gotten it close. I think we're getting it real close now. I'm going to really focus in on Ham and Africa and China and places like that pretty soon. I know a lot of people are waiting to find out where all the tribes went. We know where Naphtali and Dan went. And some of Judah. But I believe Judah went into all the world, different places. I think they took some of the priests everywhere with them, and the tribe of Judah for the royal blood. I had planned on going to another trail today. It was a lot longer. But there were so many cars and people there, I couldn't take puppies, and there's nowhere to go with the puppies anymore. Sometimes I have to go on a weekday. This is a weekend, this is Sunday, and I didn't realize it. Everybody's out running around walking. It's a nice little fire pit. Here's the hairy log. It's all new and fresh. It's not hard. Yeah, I think we'll stop here. Go back. I'll sit over on this little log for a couple minutes and just take a look at the view. I don't know where I belong anymore, because I was born and raised in California. Well, I wasn't raised there all the time. I was raised there for a year or two, and then we went to, let's see, I was probably in California until I was 5 or something. I don't know. I think when I was 6, we went to Wyoming for a little short spree. I remember that briefly. My dad was I don't know, I guess just before we left, Dad was I think we were in Chico. I was probably about 5, getting close to 6. And I remember Dad came home with this big van, a regular van, with the middle hump, thing. But it was for Sears. He worked for Sears, and he would go around fixing washing machines and dryers and stoves and electrical items and things. And I was just so fascinated by that. He let me sit in there in the van. And I always loved vans ever since then. I always thought, oh, that'd be really cool. I have a van. I had one time, but it got stolen. I was gonna trade it for a pickup, and the guy pulls up with his pickup, and he said, "Yeah, we'll trade, all right." And so I signed over my title and handed it to him, and he never handed me back another title. He just took off, got in his car, and got in the van or took off. He left the truck, but it didn't have, I don't know, he didn't sell it to me. I didn't have title. Maybe there wasn't a title on it, I don't know. I remember I was like, what happened? So I called, I found a number. I called it, and they were threatening me to kill me. Don't you ever call this number back again? I was like, I called the police, and they said, we can't do anything about it. It's civil. So yeah, be careful when you sign over your title to somebody. But anyway, yeah, we went to Wyoming when I was about 6, I guess. And I think I started school there for about a month or 2. That was the most miserable thing. I remember, like 30 below. We got snow in those days. It was cold. This thing we got this last Christmas, all this cold air, man, we had that in the old days all the time. Up in Wyoming especially, it was like 40 below sometimes. Not with the wind chill, worse with the wind chill factor. I mean, the wind would blow 90 mile an hour. You'd have wind drifts of snow for 10 feet cover your house. But I remember standing in the snow, getting on a school bus, people picking on me. I was scared. I didn't know, it was my first day of school. Nobody went with me. I had to navigate the school bus in the snow. I was scared out of my mind because I was Jehovah's Witness, and we were told everybody's evil. They're all of the devil, and not to listen, and don't do what they say, and don't salute the flag, and don't play with the other children. And you're not allowed to celebrate Christmas or the holidays or do any, and I wasn't even allowed to play in the sports. So I'd go stand out for recess, I'd stand in the corner, and I'd just sit there and kind of shake. I was so scared. I was scared out of my mind that somebody would come up to me and start talking to me or something. Anyway, I don't know how long we lasted there, and we ended up back in California for, I don't know, probably, I think we went back to Forest Hill, California, and I spent 2.5 years there. I went to 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade there. And I liked it there. Dad was the electrician over the sawmill. But then when I was about 9, I guess, almost 10, we moved to Afton, Wyoming. Again, we stayed there about a year. That was the most miserable thing. Again, standing out in the snowbank waiting for, it was terrible. I hated it. Then we moved to Montpelier, and I went up to 5th grade there. And then we moved to northern Idaho. Wasn't quite as cold up there. And we were out in the middle of the woods building this 3-story log. It was like a lodge, 3-story log thing, A-frame. And I remember putting the shingles on. They call them shakes because they're bigger than shingles. We had to make them out of bolts of, wood, and we'd literally pop the shakes right off the bolt of wood, and so it's an A-frame. It's like straight up, 3 stories, and I was way up there hanging by my toes trying to put the shake on and fell off that thing. Man, a lot of good times. So we stayed there, and I was in 6th grade for 2 months or less, but I had to walk through 2 feet of snow to get to the school bus. And at that time, that's when Jehovah's Witnesses were throwing us out. And so it was a traumatic time. There was all these elder meetings, and nobody, it was the most exasperating time for my mother, I'm sure, because she was losing her life, losing her religion, losing her mind. Dad and Mom were beginning to not get along at all. And it just destroyed our family. So I was walking through the snow to get to the school bus, and I hated it. I never said anything, never complained about it, but I just hated it. But Mom could tell when I didn't like, when I was suffering. And so she said I didn't have to go to school anymore. And I never did. That was the last I ever went to school, was the second month of 6th grade. So I never really went to 6th grade or 7th or 8th or anything. Or high school. So I've lived, then after there, once I got old enough, I took off. I went to Arizona, New Mexico, and Nevada, and went to Texas. And I lived in New Mexico for 18 years, raised my daughter there. So I've been everywhere. But now I'm here in Alabama, and I had no idea it was as beautiful as it is. I never thought that it was like this back out east. I thought that it was just all city, and didn't think they really had any mountains. But these are, they're not really tall mountains, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful mountains and cliffs and wild nature parks and canyons and things to see. It's just really nice here. I could live here if there weren't so many people. But yeah, I'm gonna really enjoy New Mexico. So I can't wait. A couple more months. We're out of here. You don't hear any birds or anything out here. Yeah, I'll probably go back this way. Okay, guys. Back at the truck. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.